Every one of my records means something. The label, the producer, the year it was made.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
All right. So let's get into the at least the first record, depending on how things go here, that we're going to listen to. Well, I guess let's start. So I planned on listening to this one, so we will. But Jake has the jazz record that he wants to listen to. And Joe, you weren't here, Joe. He suggested just playing one side of it because it's so long. And so I just think, well, then let's just save it and give it its own night so we can hear the whole thing, right?
Sounds good.
I was like, no, we can't just do one side, and I figured you would kind of feel the same way, Joe. So
yeah.
All right. So anyway, I'm excited about this one because I just got it, and it's. I know we were big fans of Jason Isbell last time, so this is really this was kind of his breakthrough record. This is kind of what propelled him to where he is now. Because Jason Isbell's pretty popular all of a sudden. He was just featured in a GQ article, and like he's a big like kind of hipster favorite. I feel like he's won a couple Grammys at this point and everything.
Like a Chris Stapleton character now, kind of.
Yeah.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, he's reached that level of success. So so what we've listened to that featured him would be the Drive-By Truckers back when he was in that band. But then he was a very famous drunk. He got kicked out of the band for that reason. And then shortly thereafter he sobered up, and this is pretty much his success in his career kind of coincides with that happening to him. So a lot of that is featured on this record, Southeastern, from the year 2013. Okay. So yeah, this was cool for me to get because like I remember I just have that we've listened to a lot of records on the Record Night podcast where we have like a connection to it. Like we remember listening to it, like this one I didn't listen to it right when it came out, but still I can remember like I've got like a relationship with all the songs on there and everything.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm excited. This is hopefully nobody's sleepy because this is kind of a laid back record, but I think lyrically it's engaging enough that it'll keep us interested. So what do you guys remember about, I guess the Drive-By Truckers are a little different, but like the Nashville sound, I remember you guys enjoyed that. So just what are your thoughts on Isbell? What do you remember about him?
Yeah. That album, I'm trying to think what songs were on that Nashville Sound album.
So the Nashville Sound, that's it right here. The Last of My Kind.
Yeah, that's a really good song.
Well, I love that song.
Tupelo on that album?
Yes.
Yeah, what a great song that is. I go back to that song a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent song. Great songwriting.
Yeah. If We Were Vampires is on that one, and then
why don't you run through the track listing on that one, see if anything.
So from the Nashville Sound, this is Jason Isbell in the 400 unit. Like I said, it was Last of My Kind, and then the Cumberland Gap, Tupelo, White Man's World, If We Were Vampires, and then on side B, it's Anxiety, Molotov, Chaos and Clothes. That's one of my favorites. Hope of the High Road, and Something to Love.
Yeah, a couple of those ring a bell. I enjoyed that record a lot.
Yeah, so that one, the Nashville Sound, it's Jason Isbell in the 400 unit. This is just Jason Isbell. So
gotcha.
Some of the guys are the same in the band. There's no Sadler Vaden, who's his guitar player now. But we still have Chad Gamble on drums. He's in the 400 unit, and Chad Gamble is the brother of Al Gamble, who is from St. Paul and the Broken Bones. So the little connection. Wow. I guess that makes sense. They're both from Alabama, So.
Yeah.
So anyway, this record, Southeastern, has I don't know what you guys all know on it. Elephant. Elephant's a real famous song. Do you know that song, Jake?
Yeah, I know Elephant. She has isn't that the one about she has cancer?
Well, spoiler alert, but no. I'm just,
Oh!
No.
That's
No,
on this.
you're correct, Jake. It is about somebody with cancer. So yeah, I'm excited because I think
Just cut that part out.
no, it doesn't need to be a reveal or anything. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys really. There's going to be a lot of songs on here you don't know, but I think they're all pretty good. So this record, like I said, it's 2013. It's produced by Dave Cobb. Dave Cobb's a very famous producer. He produced. I don't know if he produced the Sturgill records he certainly didn't produce Sound and Fury, but he produced some Sturgill records. I think probably Chris Stapleton too. Yeah, he's just actually who I'll have you guys guess, even though you probably won't get it, who Jason Isbell's first pick to produce that record was. He ended up going with Dave Cobb, but he had another guy picked out first.
Oh, Kanye West. I don't know.
No, I like the Kanye West. That's a good guess. No, Ryan Adams.
To produce the record?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They're no longer. They were buddies. They're no longer, unfortunately, because Ryan Adams has had. There's a New York Times piece came out that said he was like soliciting sexual favors from women and that sort of thing. So
who was
Ryan Adams?
Oh,
he's denied them, but I mean, what else is he going to do? It's like
sure.
So yeah. Anyway, if I were smart enough, I made a brief effort to try to figure out how to play the vinyl directly into the mix here, but you know what? It just became too much for me. So again, I'll play it for myself. I do have my record player hooked into the mixer anyway, so that's how I've been listening to records lately, just pumping them right into the headset here. So.
Mm-hmm.
So let me pull this. I'll get this sucker out on the table here.
So why would Jason Isbell put him on blast like that on the New York Times?
He didn't put him on. I mean, a New York Times piece just came out because I guess women came forward or whatever.
Oh.
So because of that, Isbell kind of has distanced himself from him apparently. So.
Gotcha.
Shiny.
Just your regular old. I kind of appreciate just the regular vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After having so many different colored ones,
Yeah, kaleidoscope and red and.
Yeah.
Put your faith to the test when I tore off your dress in Richmond on high. I sobered up and I swore off that stuff forever this time. The old lovers say I thought it'd be me who helped him get home. But home was a dream, one I'd never seen till you came along. So girl, leave your boots by the bed, we ain't leaving his room. Someone needs medical help or the magnolia's bloom. It's cold in this house and I ain't going out to chop wood. I've heard love songs make a Georgia man cry on the shoulder of somebody's Saturday night. Read the good book, studied it too, but nothing prepared me for living with you. Lock me up tight in these shackles I wear, tied up the keys in the folds of your hair, and the difference with me is I used to not care. Stockholm, let me go home. surely have called off the search and gone back to their own. And I've grown tired of traveling alone, tired of traveling alone. I've grown tired of traveling alone. Won't you ride with me? Damn near strangled by my appetite. Eat Bore City on a Friday night. Couldn't even stand upright. So high the street girls wouldn't take my pay. She said, come see me on a better day. She just danced away. Pain in the outside lane. I'm tired of answering to myself. Hard like a rebuilt heart. I don't know how much it's got left. How much it's got left. She said, Andy, you're better than your past. Winked at me and drained her glass. Cross-legged on a bar stool like nobody sits anymore. She said, Andy, you're taking me home. But I knew she planned to sleep alone. I'd carry her to bed and sweep up the hair from her floor. If I'd fucked her before she got sick, I'd never hear the end of it. She don't have the spirit for that now. We just drink our drinks and laugh out loud, bitch about the weekend crowd and try to ignore the elephant somehow. When she was drunk, she made cancer jokes, made up her own doctor's notes. Surrounded by her family, I saw that she was dying alone. I've buried her 1,000 times, giving up my place in line, but I don't give a damn about that now. There's one thing that's real clear to me: no one dies with dignity. You just try to ignore the elephant somehow. We just try to ignore the elephant somehow. We just try to ignore the elephant somehow. 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 From the sky we look so organized and brave. Walls that make up barricades and graves. Daddy's little empire built by hands and built by slaves. From the sky we look so organized and brave. Take my hand, baby, we're overland. I know flying over water makes you cry. Where's that liquor card? Maybe we shouldn't start. But I can't for the life of me say why. From the sky to highway, straight as it could be. A string pulled tight from home to Tennessee. pictures of the runaways on the wall. Seems like these days you couldn't run away at all. And even if you did, what you got to run away to? Just another drunk daddy with a white man's point of view. You can strip in Portland from the day you turn 16. You got one thing to sell, benzodiazepine. 10 years ago I might have seen you dancing in a different light and offered up my help in different ways, but those were different days. Time went by and I left again. Jesus loves the sinner, but the highway loves the sin. My daddy told me, I believe he told me true, that the right thing's always the hardest thing to do. And the story's only mine to live and die with, and the answer's only mine to come across. But the ghosts that I got scared and I got high with look a little lost. 10 years ago I might thought I didn't have the right to say the things an outlaw wouldn't say, but those were different days.
All right, so we just got done listening to side one of Jason Isbell's record Southeastern from 2013. So, Jake, you were just beginning to give your comments about it.
Yeah, a lot of love songs, like love and alcohol was the theme of side A.
Here. No.
Yeah.
Well,
Sips large beer.
I'm just drinking water, you know.
There you go.
Health is wealth in 2020, guys.
Yeah, it's true, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
All right, so like I was kind of alluding to before we started, Isbell is kind of regularly regarded as like one of the best songwriters out there now, and this is kind of the first record that put him on the map as far as that's concerned. He's even said he had some good songs before this, like with the Drive-By Truckers, or he had a couple solo records before this, but he wasn't as good at it yet, according to himself. You know, he talks about songwriting the way like Joe Rogan talks about writing comedy, like he's meticulous about it. And you got to work at it and try, you know what I mean? Like it's a craft, you know?
Yep.
But so, yeah, Joe, any thoughts overall before we dig in here song by song?
This album actually took me a while to get into. Like I wasn't really feeling the first like 3 songs.
I did. I thought they were pretty simple, but that could be like what you're alluding to, like not get-inable. They're very simple, repetitive type instrumentals.
But once Elephant hit, I was
yeah.
It's a good song that I don't listen to all that much because I would feel like I'd get really sad if I listened to this like over and over again. But when I do hear it, I appreciate, like what you said, like his songwriting and stuff is just amazing. The way he could tell a story and tell a narrative about a person, you know, is really good. And yeah, then the first 3 I wasn't really feeling, and then the last 3 I was. So like half and half.
The first 3 were all love songs.
Yeah, Elephant. Well, Elephant's kind of a love song. And then let's see.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Flying Over Water, love song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different Days. That's a little bit different, but yeah. So okay. So let me go. So Cover Me Up. What's the first song? So this would be interesting since you guys, if you guys weren't that into it. So this was all the way back, song number 1, if you can recall. Did you have any thoughts about it?
I mean, right from the gate, he talks about his sobriety, like right in one of the opening lines.
Yeah.
But is it about like just not what am I thinking of? Not having the like not the ability, but like the want to do anything. You just want to just go back to bed and just not like almost like depression. Like he has like some type of depression. Is that what the song's about? I don't even know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cover me up?
Yeah. Jake?
This to me, yeah. But this, I mean, I think what it is he's talking about, like, through his alcoholism or through rough times or whatever, like, he always knew that he always had the desire to be, like, in a relationship, obviously. He says, I made it through because somebody knew I was meant for someone, right? So, like, he, like, basically had faith that he, like that a relationship would change his life. But obviously, he's got this funny line, so girl, leave your boots by the bed. We ain't live in this room till someone needs medical help. I thought that was pretty funny. Like, he's knee deep into the love with this person he's fallen in love with. And he says, what was the line? Like, never knew home until you came along.
Yeah. The old lovers say, I thought it'd be me who helped him get home, but home was a dream, one I'd never seen till you came along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's had relationships before, but they weren't like the one he's in now.
Yeah.
There's a line in there about like it's cold in this house, but I'm too lazy to get up and chop firewood, so we'll just like stay in this room.
Yeah, we'll warm each other up with our body heats.
There you go.
Hot and sultry.
So
yeah, so this is Isbell is the kind of guy who'll write songs in character. A lot of his songs are allegories. It's about one thing, but it means something else. But this one's pretty straight up. This is he wrote this song for his wife, Amanda Shires, who's the fiddle player.
Mm-hmm.
So by the way, this is like I said, this record is just Jason Isbell, but there's really only two differences. Sadler Vaden is not on the lead guitar, and Jimbo Hart is not playing the bass. Those two guys are in the 400 unit, but everything else, all the other band members are the same. But so in both cases, Amanda Shires plays the fiddle, and so she's his wife. So
backup vocalist too, right?
Yep, certainly on a couple of the songs. I don't know if which ones exactly, but yeah. So there's a lot of truth in this song. He has got the line about put your faith to the test when I tore off your dress in Richmond on high. Apparently that really happened. Like, he was in a drunken stupor. He like attempted to rape her.
Jeez.
But so I'll never forget. So I saw Jason play live at Nautica Jacobs, whatever it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs Pavilion. Yeah.
Good show. Really good show. I think the venue helped. I love that venue.
Yeah.
God, that
excellent venue.
Makes me want to kill myself.
Why?
I just hate it. It's so cramped. I hate the benches. I'm just like, this is fun.
How dare you have a bad experience?
The sound quality is real good in that place, though.
The sound's amazing, but I wish I just had more. I'm tall. I'm not.
Well, I stood. I was standing when I was there, so maybe that would have helped.
Everyone was sitting in our concert, so people would have been pissed for some reason.
Who'd you see?
Lindsey Sterling.
Oh, like a violin player?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's a perfect place to see.
It was
something
an
like
awesome
that.
show, but I just wish I would have had the standing seats down there.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, so anyway, I saw Jason Isbell play there, and he played this song, and so he's got the line, "I sobered up and swore off that stuff," and that always gets a big applause break from the audience, because he really did sober up and swear off that stuff, and but I'll never forget. It's just one of the most bizarre things. Like, he said, "But I sobered up and I swore off that stuff," and then woo, a bunch of Miller Lite cans go up in the air, like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's a very, I'll never forget that. It was very bizarre.
That is bizarre. That is very bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, everybody's.
It's in good intentions because you're like, oh, cheers,
Right.
but what you're cheersing with is the stuff that he swore off.
It's just yeah, it's that like I said, I'll never forget it. But yeah, so as far as like staying in the room all the time, it's like I think that is literally about the process of like I don't know if it's like literally going through like detox, you know, like, and that was she helped him through that process. So it was like we're staying in here, you know what I mean? I'm with you, you know what I mean? We're not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You know.
That's a good.
Yeah,
that's a good
cover me up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then Stockholm. This is the second song.
Another love song.
Yep.
Let's see. There's always a couple lines that stick out.
Okay, so clearly we're Stockholm syndrome.
You're right.
Is what we're talking about here. This one has a little bit of a debated meaning, and again, a lot of his songs are allegories, so they can just have two. It can be two meanings, you know. That's not out of the question.
I think to be honest, the song is about like, again, it's a song about how like this girl, his wife now, like just changed his life. Like, some of the lines are like, "I thought I knew the ways of the world, like until I met you." And then what was the line that I liked? It said, let me look it up. Yeah, once a wise man to the ways of the world, and I've traded those lessons for faith in a girl. So it just changed. This person has changed his perspective on life, and he's willing to almost give up like what he's learned from past experience and go out on a limb to like for this person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. That was a very good line.
Yeah.
In that song.
Well, I like the I think it's the opening line of the song. Yeah. I've heard love songs make a Georgia man cry on the shoulder of somebody Saturday night.
Yeah.
I think it's a solid line. Yeah. So I always took it as just kind of a straight up love song, like Jake said. But another interpretation I read is that it's he's singing about his alcohol is what he's is his captor, and that's what he's in love with. But he wants to move on, but he can't. Stockholm, let me go home. Is you know that he's addicted to alcohol and he can't
he can't
shake it. But
yeah.
But yeah, but then another interpretation is that it's just his his wife. He's just
it's like the whole song's like
stole his heart.
Yeah, it's like the whole song's like a giant double entendre. Like
it is.
Yeah,
like one with his relationship with alcohol, and then one with a relationship with his wife. It's like the battle between the two. She's helping him with the one, and they kind of play off each other.
But then also kind of the literal. Obviously, it's like Stockholm syndrome is the play there, but like it's also it seems to be literally Stockholm, right? Because he crossed the ocean 1,000 years from my home in this frozen old city of silver and stone.
Mm-hmm.
Like so.
That's Germany, Russia. Where's Stockholm? Sweden. Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of that right away.
He told a story about it. They toured Europe, and so they played Sweden, and he said they all went apeshit for Stockholm, and he goes, but then the rest of the show, the rest of the songs, they just stood there like this. But then I forget where he said they went somewhere else, maybe Norway. He's like, then we played Norway, and he played that song, and he said somebody in the crowd went, the Swedish are useless.
I'd love to go to Norway. That seems like a cool country.
Yeah, good place to get a haircut.
Yeah. Norway, Sweden, all those countries up there.
Yeah.
Traveling Alone was the next one. This is the first one where I really wrote down some notes, and really.
Okay, yeah, I like this one. This was a single. There was a music video for this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, do go ahead, Jake.
what was the line like? They said, like I'm full of pain, traveling in the outside lane, and my heart's like a rebuilt part.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
He's
That
like,
was good. Yeah.
that's basically like just my biological clock is ticking, kind of, kind
Yeah.
of deal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I just thought that songwriting was fucking brilliant. Heart like a
Yeah, like
rebuilt part. Don't know
comparing
like
his
how many miles I got left.
comparing his heart to like a rebuilt like engine or something, or a
Mm-hmm.
rebuilt whatever.
Like it
Yeah.
can go once, but if it goes again, like it's all over.
Then
There's no fixing it.
right.
He's feeling the heat.
Mm. Yeah.
So he said he wrote that song. The idea for that song literally came from just traveling, like being alone in an airport. You know what I mean? But like obviously it takes on more meaning than that. But I like the so high the street girls wouldn't take my pay.
Oh yeah, come back when you
Said come see me on a better day.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
because he was fucked up. What he said something before that. The line before that is couldn't even stand up straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that song. Okay, Elephant, obviously.
Excellent.
I
Yeah.
just put wow. We've heard that one before. It's just such a fucking good song.
It's hard for me to remember hearing that song for the first time, but like even before, obviously the lyrical content is is what it is, but just even the guitar, I don't know. I remember like that song stands out. I don't know if creepy is not the right word, but it just, that guitar has a dark, I don't know, you're like, oh, okay, this isn't a different kind of song that's coming here
Yeah.
before anything even starts.
Yeah, he paints. You can almost see this person he's like talking about. Like,
Oh, yeah, I could picture it all.
he's got that
Them at the
imagery.
bar.
That's what makes this song stand out. Like, for example, like winked at me and drained her glass, cross-legged on the bar stool, like no one sits anymore. And then what's the other line? Seagram's in a coffee cup. Like, just that line alone is like for whatever reason stands out to me. Sharecropper eyes and her hair almost gone. When she was drunk, she made cancer jokes. And then this was a good one. Surrounded by her family, I saw that she was dying alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he's just painting a picture of this person's life with one line. Like, right? So she has cancer, but like surrounded by her family, she's still dying alone. Like this person's like lonely, probably doesn't have like the best relationship with their like immediate family, right? And just with one line, like he kind of paints a picture of this person. I just think it's really great songwriting.
I think it's a Carl Jung quote. The psychologist says loneliness comes from not having nobody around you, but from being unable to communicate the ideas that are important to you.
Yeah.
So she's got plenty of people around her, but if nobody understands her, you're alone for all intents and purposes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what so like this song he regards as one of his best songs, and then also If We Were Vampires, and so they both confront they're both very frank songs about like confront about mortality. It is gonna happen, you know what I mean? And it made me think like this is kind of what we were talking about, like what makes a good song. Like Joe, you said like good songwriting is like content, saying something different than your run of the mill. And I just feel like that the pop music is just kind of like it's a one size fits all, just kind of at a it's just generic stuff. But this like fucking cuts deep. You know what I mean?
Gets to like a really sensitive and like specific like point. Yeah.
Well, and then I don't know if it was the intention of the song, but to me it's like first of all, it's the first song we have where it's explicitly a character. She went to Andy. She said, "Andy, you're better than your." So it's not him, you know. It's these two characters.
Yeah, that makes it even better. Like that song sounds as if it was written from someone who actually experienced that, and he made that character up.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me that's incredible. It's like one thing to be able to like share your own experiences in that way, but to like think up that think that up and like then share it and have the same impact, like it just goes to show how well the song was written.
Yeah, that's another one he said he wrote from just like literally being in bars in Alabama. There, like the barmaid told him like, hey, don't get too close to these old guys, man. They're just gonna disappear. And just every once in a while you'd show up and another one of them would be gone, you know, and it's like people get cancer, you know what I mean? They die. So it happens. So they're friends in the song. They're not, so it's a male and female, but they're not they're as far as friends, but yeah, they're not in a relationship.
Yeah, he always said like, what did he say? I buried her 1,000 times, like always giving up my spot next in line. Like he had always, to me, like when you talk about, when referring to a woman, when you say like next in line, what are you talking about? Like the next guy to have a shot with this girl. So he like that just goes to your point. Like he's kind of just more maintained a friendship rather than pursued like a more intimate relationship with this person.
Yeah. Well, there's a line earlier, if I fucked her before she got sick. That was that line too, where it's like they're on the edge of that or whatever. But I don't know if it was the intention of the song, but to me it's about the relationship the whole time. But then at the end it kind of like zooms out and like there's one thing that's real clear to me: no one dies with dignity. We just, then he changes the pronoun to we, just try to ignore the elephant somehow. To me, that's kind of everybody. Like we're all ignoring this elephant in the room that people die and they're alone when they die. It kind of reminded me of Old Man, the Randy Newman song, a little bit. Just a very dark, just you're dead and that's it. It's over, you know?
Right. Yeah, for sure. That's a good parallel. Very frank song.
But I also don't think it's good to focus on, you know, I think it is good to ignore the elephant in the room when it comes to that, because if you focus on that, if your life, if you focus on your death, your mortality, I don't think that's a very positive way to go through life.
Yeah. I think it's healthy to examine that every once in a while. I think that's what makes the song so good, is because like when we say like, okay, it's good to, like if it wasn't good to examine mortality, like then this song wouldn't be as popular or well regarded as it is.
And it's probably why, I mean, I like this song, don't get me wrong, but I don't have it like on any of my playlists or anything. Like I can't listen to the same with the vampire song. If we were vampires, there's another song that I really like, but I just can't listen to it over and over again.
Yeah, I don't think it's meant to be played at like something, you know what I mean? And it sticks with you. It doesn't have to be played, right? You hear it once and like this is a great song. Like,
there's movies like that too, where you could just see the movie one time and be like, that was a great movie. I don't have to see it again.
Yeah, like Beast of No Nation, stuff like that.
Sure.
They're important though. They're important.
Yes.
Well, every once in a while. I mean, I just think it kind of, well, another song reminds me of is I Can't Think About It Now by Dawes. You have shit like that, you know, that you couldn't think about all the time or it wouldn't be good for you, you know, but like that song cuts deep because you start to think, I don't know, there's things like, what elephants are you ignoring? You know what I mean? That they're there, you know?
Right.
But yeah, and it depends on how you focus on your mortality. Like if you think of it, I mean, you could.
If you obsess over it, right?
If you obsess over it, that's not a good thing. But if you think about it like, well, I'm gonna die. I don't got much fucking time here. I better get to it. Right. You know what I mean? That's a more positive spin on it.
You could put a positive spin on it.
Yeah, I think the reason those songs are so good is because the saying, not to be too cliche, but like the saying goes like, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And I think a lot of people spend all their time hoping or preparing for the best, but don't take the time to confront like the harsh realities, right? And I think that's what makes these songs, just like you said, like what elephants are you ignoring, like that are there that you should like at least be ready to confront or prepared for.
Well, but then in the song, I mean, you can relate to it in the song, is they're just trying to drink and have fun and get through it, you know, because like what else can you do? Like we may have in this particular song, like how could you ignore it? You know what I mean? Her hair's falling out, or it's you know, you don't want to focus on it, but it's there all the time. You know what I mean? It's kind of unavoidable, you know? So like they're just, Yeah, I don't know. I've never known anybody that's gotten cancer, but I could still I understand that whole like, well, we're just gonna do what we always do and try to have fun and
Yeah.
get
And
through
she
this.
wouldn't want that either. She wouldn't want to
Right.
go out to the bar and just have everyone focus on her, being sick. And, she wants, how it once was, and to enjoy her last weeks, months, whatever it is.
Yeah, right. I'm all right. And then there was a change of pace with the next song, "Flying Over Water."
Which I'm glad he
Yeah.
the next song after Elephant, I'm glad it was more of an up.
Yeah. You needed one after that.
Yeah, for sure.
This was the first Jason Isbell song I ever heard. Was "Flying Over Water."
Really?
So this was a good, yeah. I think it's a nice introduction to him. This is the first time we really have like a prominent electric guitar on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put Silver Sun at the end just because of the distortion. Anytime I hear distortion now, I just think of Silver Sun pickups.
Nice.
But,
Yeah, it was okay. It's a little bit more reined in maybe than Silver Sun pickups, but yeah.
But as far as like lyrics are concerned, he says flying. Like obviously the point is another cliche, like looking at things through rose-colored glasses, right? Well, that's specifically to the past, but it's seeing from above, everything looks so perfect and great.
Uh-huh.
And then you get down there and you realize like the road fucking is an uphill, you know what I mean? And it's
Got
not
potholes.
nearly as easy as you or nice as you thought. It's just a grass is greener type song, but it almost like he's saying like I've been in the sky so long, it seems like the long way home. Like maybe taking for granted. That's just that's about taking shit for granted, I guess. Like if it seems like the long way home and you're literally in a plane instead of having to traverse these, but then at the same time he almost expresses like desire to like take those long roads home, you know what I mean? Like it's a necessary part of life, right? And yet we're up here in the plane acting like this is difficult, like this is the long way home, when in reality the road, like it could be a lot worse. There's a lot of different meanings you could attribute.
Yeah, I love how people will, like, you're on an airplane, people will complain about whatever. It's like you're in a plane going to
You're an hour late for your cross world.
this amazing invention. Like you're in like shut up.
Yeah.
like what the hell? You'll get there.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Collin?
Well, this is one lyrically. This one grabbed me right away. Like I said, this was the first one I ever heard. So like, from the sky we look so organized and brave. Walls that make up barricades and graves. Daddy's little empire built by hands and built by slaves. Like the slaves line, jumped out at me like when I first listened to it.
I missed that one.
Yeah, that's actually a good. That's another thing. It's not just that the road is hard, but it's like ugly too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what the finished product, like basically like at what cost? You know what I mean?
Okay, so but so anyway, just a flying over water is something people are afraid of, right?
Okay. I've never flown an airplane, so I can't.
Well, me neither.
Both of you guys?
Yeah, never.
Oh wow. It's cool. I enjoy it.
But yeah, so I think that's the flying over water is just it's fear, it's uncertainty. So that's to me like been in the sky so long. I've just been in this fearful a place so long. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Late for the Sky, because this is a relationship song again.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me he's just kind of not understanding why this isn't working, with this like it should be easy, right? Like from he's talking about like everything looked like from the sky the highway's straight as it could be. What is it? So but still somehow those ditches took the better part of me, like I don't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
He has the whole thing like, where's that liquor cart? Maybe we shouldn't start, you know what I mean? Like that's just kind of a like I think like a relationship, like put that drink down, God damn it, like we're talking, you know what I mean? That kind of. So yeah, that's how I took it. But that electric guitar solo at the end, with its distortion and stuff. It's something he gets into a little bit more. I feel like in his later career, Isbell does, but like he's an excellent guitar player. It's kind of like Sturgill Simpson, like how like he I don't know, like he put out a rock and roll record. So you're like, oh fuck, dude, he can shred on guitar. I think if Isbell ever had the gumption to do a rock and roll, he could have a similar kind of.
Because he's playing acoustic throughout the album too, right? The acoustic guitar.
Yeah,
Jason Isbell.
I think that's probably him on Flying Over Water though with the electric guitar.
So if you could play guitar, you could play guitar. It doesn't matter if it's plugged in or not.
Yeah, guitar and vocals, Jason Isbell. So yeah, and then the last one on the side is Different Days. This was a laid back kind of song.
Yeah.
There was a couple of lines that I liked in this one. The one he's talking about, he shared a single bed, and he whispered in the girl's ear, and she believed everything I said. And then the girl just says, like, basically, get off my back, because they're in a single bed. So there's no way you could, she's like, yeah, that's all good, but get off my back. Like, give me some space. I really like that. And then the one line about the ghost, I'd have to pull it back up, but
and the story is only mine to live and die with, and the answer is only mine to come across. But the ghosts that I got scared and got high with look a little lost. Yeah. That
was good. Talking about his sobriety again, or the way the things were when he would get drunk, and those ghosts are starting to come back now, but they look different because he's seeing it from a different perspective. He's not seeing it all drunk and high and all that. He's seeing from a sober point of view.
Well, he sees a girl that
it sounds like he took a stripper home and he can't bring himself to have his way with her, kind of.
Yeah,
like 10 years ago, I would have just used you in every way, but now, like, it's almost like he's not in the same.
He doesn't know what to do.
Like he knows he knows the consequences of like the unfortunate circumstance she's in, right? Rather than before, she was just an object to be used for his own devices. Now he has this almost kind of guilt,
sympathy
about the whole thing. Yeah, sympathy. That's the right word.
Yeah. You got one thing to sell in benzodiazepine.
Yeah.
A good line. So yeah, I'm not sure how far he got with her, but yeah, it's just at this point in his life, he wants to offer genuine help as opposed to the help he would have offered previously.
I mean, did someone help him through his sobriety, or did he have to just? Because there's some people that just cut cold turkey. They just don't. There's other people that go to AA and all that stuff. Like, how was his? What his road was? Like,
I'm not sure what the exact details are. I know his wife helped him a lot, like we talked about in the first song, "Cover Me Up." Ryan Adams is another one who kind of helped him, and I think we took him to rehab. I don't know how many times he was like in and out or anything like that, but it was a pretty quick process for him, so overall. And then now he's pretty much rock solid at this point. So
nice.
So yeah, but it was just a few people. I really think just his wife and a few other people that were close to him. But
so that's probably why he wants to help this person, because other people have helped him.
Yeah,
I like return the favor.
The other one I like is my daddy told me. I believe he told me true. The right thing is always the hardest thing to do. That's just I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get side 2 rolling. It starts off with Live Oak, and to me this is right there with Elephant. I'm surprised it doesn't get as much acclaim for that, but it's a similar song, I think. So.
There's a man who walks beside me, he is who I used to be, and I wonder if she sees him and confuses him with me. And I wonder who she's pining for on nights I'm not around. Could it be the man who did the things I'm living now? I'd never held a lover in my arms or in my gaze, so I found another victim every couple days. We'd robbed a Great Lakes freighter, killed a couple men aboard, and I told her, her eyes flickered like the sharp steel of a sword. All the things that she'd suspected, I'd expected her to fear, was the truth that drew her to me when I landed here. I carved her cross from live oak and her box from short-leaf pine, and buried her so deep she'd touched the water table line, and picked up what I needed and I headed south again. To myself I wondered, would I ever find another friend? There's a man who walks beside her, he is who I used to be, and I wonder if she sees him and confuses him with me. On a lark, on a whim, I said there's two kinds of men in this world and you're neither of them. And his fist cut the smoke. I had an eighth of a second to wonder if he got the joke. I had to summon the confidence needed to hear her goodbye, and another brief chapter without any answers blew by. And the songs that she sang in the shower are stuck in my head, like bring out your dead, breakfast in bed, and experience robs me of hope that she'll make it back home. So I'm stuck on my own, I'm stuck on my own. And the church bells are ringing for those who are easy to please, and the frost on the ground probably envies the frost on the tree. And the songs that she sang in the shower are stuck in my mind, like yesterday's wine, like yesterday's wine. And experience tells me that I'll never hear them again without thinking of them, without thinking of them. And the sand that they call cocaine costs you twice as much as gold. You'd be better off to drink your coffee black, but I swear the land, it'll listen to the stories that we told. God bless the busted boat that brings us back. And the piss they call tequila, even Wayne wouldn't drink. Well, I'd rather sip this Listerine I packed, but I swear we've never seen a better place to sit and think. God bless the busted ship that brings us back. up with the bed still made. It was a quiet morning, I wasn't quite breathing, my heart way up in my throat. The girl starts screaming and the maid starts screaming, and it looks like it's all she wrote. Well, they slapped me back to life and they telephoned my wife and they filled me full of Pedialyte. So my guts and my glory, it would make a great story if I ever could remember it right. I don't want to die in a Super 8 motel. I've watched you in class. Your eyes are cut glass and you stay covered up, head to your toe, so nobody will know it's you. I might not be a man yet, your father will never be. So I load up my Weatherby and I let out my breath, and I couple with death. I couple with death. Saw your father last night. Window, the light made a silhouette. Saw him hold you that way. He won't hold you that way anymore, Yvette. He's a brother on a church kick. Seems like just a different kind of dope sick. Better off to teach a dog a card trick and try to have a point and make it clear. And you should know, compared to people on a global scale, I kinda's had it relatively easy. Here with you, there's always something to look forward to. My angry heart beats relatively easy. I lost a good friend Christmas time when folks go off the deep end. His woman took the kids and he took Klonopin, enough to kill a man of twice his size. Not for me to understand. Remember him when he was still a proud man. A vandal smile, a baseball in his right hand, nothing but the blue sky in his eyes. Watch that lucky man walk to work again. He may not have a friend left in the world. See him walking home again to sleep alone. I step into a shop to buy a postcard for a girl. I broke the law, boys, shooting out the windows of my loft, boys. When they picked me up, I made a big noise. Everything to blame except my mind. And I should say I keep your picture with me every day. The evenings now are relatively easy. Here with you, there's always something to look forward to. My lonely heart beats relatively easy. My lonely heart beats relatively easy.
similar to the first side in terms of the pace of it. Super 8 is really the only super duper upbeat song we get on the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what thoughts?
So I have a lot of notes.
Okay.
Live Oak.
Yeah, okay, that was the first song.
I don't remember the exact line, but one of them like made me feel like he might have killed the person he's talking about.
Yeah, at the end.
At the
Yeah,
very end.
okay. Yeah, I think that's obvious.
Mhm.
When I'm researching the song, people are like, "Oh, this theory that he killed the girl." It's like he said it. He carved
in the
across
ground.
the live oak in her box from short leaf pine, buried her.
Yeah, a pine box deep. Yeah, the water line. Yeah.
Yeah. So the girl found out what he did, and was attracted to that part of him, so he killed her and moved on. I think it's just...
Repeat that line. He said, "What was the box made out of?"
Pine.
Short leaf pine.
Like a pine wood box, like a coffin.
It's good songwriting because what's the other lyric he used? Is he the guy you pined for?
Right.
That's not by accident.
Yeah.
It's really good songwriting.
Yeah. The whole song is excellent. That's probably that could be my favorite song on the whole entire album.
It starts off with just his vocal, nothing else.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And so so that song's a straight up allegory. He said like it was about, he wrote that about him, about becoming sober and then worrying about what do people actually like about me? Did they only like that I was raucous and drunk and fun? Like what part of me,
Right.
So that's what that all was about. But then he obviously created a great story about it,
Yeah, it's an excellent song. That's really good.
And then he changes it right at the end to, instead of "there's a man who walks beside me, there's a man who walks beside her."
Yeah.
So she was in love with the old him, so that's, he had to leave that all behind. So yeah, I think it's obvious that he murdered her and moved on.
Well, maybe it's not literal. Maybe like you could kind of kill people from your life and not actually do it literally. Like just get rid of them. You know what I mean?
Well, during Elephant, he says, "I buried her 1,000 times." He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't literally bury her 1,000 times. So yeah, it could be the same thing. But yeah, I don't, obviously, like it being an allegory. It's, the song entirely means something else. But so I take it as like the story is literally true that he's telling, where he kills this lady.
Right.
But it doesn't.
The meaning of it. Yeah.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
Let me just make sure I didn't have any. No other notes about that one.
Yeah, I just wrote excellent songwriting again.
Mm-hmm.
Just, what was the next song called? I didn't catch that one.
Songs that she sang in the shower.
Yeah, that was funny. That song was just about that's just him reflecting on his bad decisions and realizing how he behaved, like ended up in him being alone. Like what did he say? Tell a joke and had an eighth of a second to figure out whether you thought it was funny or not. It's another songwriting thing. We're driving home with the steak on my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got punched in the face, and she says to him, "What? Have you ever considered that you're going to die alone, like one day, if you keep acting the way you do?" Right? It just seems like.
Yeah, well, I think she's breaking up with him. Like, had you considered the prospect of living, like, I'm done, where you're gonna live by yourself? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. It's funny. It's funny. You guys are essentially hearing this for the first time, and like as I listen back to it, I realized like this is an album that grew on me. I definitely didn't like every song right away. There was a lot of them. I mean, it's just maybe it's just the pacing. I don't know. But like the songs opened up to me over time because I'm listening to them. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't know this song for a long time. Songs that she sang in the shower is one of them because like I didn't like this song at first, but this is one of my favorite songs out there now just because like I've knowing all the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah, that happens for sure.
Yeah. So they're riding in the car with the stake on his eye.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I had to summon the confidence needed to hear her goodbye." Mm-hmm. So to me, that's like when somebody's when somebody's breaking up with you, they can be indirect, right? Like for sensitivities, like they don't want to come out and say it. So like you need to, he needs to summon the confidence to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she's telling me it's over. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to be in denial at that stage of it. I feel like, so that's kind of what he's saying. And then he said another brief chapter without any answers blew by.
Yeah.
I like that line too.
Punched in the face and broke up with, and
yeah, right.
That ended the chapter of his life. That's funny. Well, not funny, but if it was literal.
Yeah. In hindsight, it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you go, well, we'll laugh at this later.
All right. What do we have?
Hold on. I'm not done with songs she's singing. So, I like the line, experience robs me of hope that she'll make it back home. Like he wants to like, he really does hope she'll come back home, but experience robs him.
She's not going to, like, yeah.
He knows from experience that that's not happening. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like,
right. He's seen enough dirt where he knows, it's all said and done.
And then he says that he's on his own. I forget what he says. Looks like I'm stuck here with a guy I judge worse than anybody else.
Himself.
So he's his own worst critic. I repeat the mantras that might keep me clean for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still, sobriety being a constant struggle and such. Okay. Then he gets to the end and he says the church bells are ringing for those who are easy to please. I don't know if you caught that line or
I did. I caught it.
Okay. What do you think? What does that mean?
I don't know. Like he's like the church. Okay, I know what it means, like on its face, but in relation to the rest of the song, I'm trying to like put together like what it means. Like he knows, like okay, the church bells are ringing, like for those who are easy to please, for those who's like lives are fine and don't have any real struggles. Like it's easy to have hope and go off to church and be like,
okay.
He's acknowledging that the road to making his life better is fucking gonna be really difficult, right?
Yeah.
And it's so church bells, if your idea is like going to church and you're easy to please and the world's a great place, you're skipping off to church to super be nice and thankful and shit or whatever. Whereas in his situation, like the church bells would be the complete opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like drawing you to some kind of responsibility or recognition of the truth rather than just some, feel good congregation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I was genuinely asking because I don't really know what to make of that line either. I mean, I've got a few different thoughts with that. I like that.
Church bell, right? It's reminding you of something, and he's remembering this chapter of his life that's his church bell, right?
Mm-hmm.
These things
he doesn't
in his life that are telling him, "Hey, you're fucking up, man. Like something's not right."
Yeah, he doesn't need a reminder. He's already reliving his mistakes and his he's going through it right now. He doesn't need some bell to remind him that.
Yeah.
Well, and the line right before that is one of my favorite. The frost on the ground probably envies the frost on the trees. Like,
it's the same thing, though.
It's all frost, you know what I mean? But like, it's just you could always kind of
like in a different
think
place,
of a better situation or whatever. Like, well, the frost up there is a lot better. You know what I mean? Like, well, I don't know. Don't dwell on that. You know what I mean?
Blame a petty, an inconsequential difference for the situation it's in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then even just the finish. I like the comparison of the old relationship to what does he say? The songs that she's singing in the shower stuck in my mind like yesterday's wine. Like, well, first of all, that's a song. I'm not familiar with the song, but it's a song title.
Yeah.
Yesterday's wine, I'm yesterday's wine, aging with time, like yesterday's wine.
Yesterday's wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not even literally yesterday's wine, but like the wine that he had yesterday, like in his past. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. Like his relationship with alcohol, his relationship with the girl, like they're stuck in the same place. Yeah.
That's impressive. So Hangover, yeah, that's good. That's a good fucking.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of that song. All right, New South Wales. What's the next one?
I'll have to.
This is kind of like, I'll let you guys stab at it if you want, but I've got the scoop on this one.
Yeah, I had nothing on this one. I didn't take any notes or anything. I just kind of listened to it. Didn't really take any notes.
Yeah, this is. I feel like you kind of. Well, I mean, you can make a little bit out, but it's one of those, like, we talk about different songs all the time. Like there's some where it's like, well, it's just open your interpretation. Well, it's like this one. I feel like some necessary context.
There's a couple lines where that are obvious to me, like the piss they call tequila, even Waylon wouldn't drink. I'd rather sip this Listerine I packed.
Well, okay. Well, so first off, the title, New South Wales.
I have no idea where Wales is.
So New South Wales, Australia.
Okay. So they're in Australia.
Yeah. So I mean, go on, but you know.
The only two lines I caught, not caught, but noticed were the drug lines. He's comparing the drugs, shitty drugs, right? What's he say? Yeah, the piss they call tequila, even Waylon wouldn't drink. I'd rather sip Listerine, which alcoholics would drink, and if they're super desperate. So it's this drug is so shitty, this alcohol is so fucking bad. I'd rather drink Listerine. He says sand they call cocaine costs you twice as much as gold, like sand. You might as well just be sniffing sand. It's fucking that bad. You'd better off just drinking black coffee to get the same high.
Well, and we can all, I'm sure we can all relate to getting a bad batch of cocaine. Am I right? It's not fun. So, okay. So New South Wales, Australia. This is about him. Are you guys familiar with the Justin Townes Earl?
No.
Another artist. So this is about he went on tour with Justin Townes Earl in Australia, and the cocaine was shitty and the tequila was bad. And so he's just singing about that. If you read through the lyric again, it's taking candy from these strangers. So there's a lot of references to touring, like these posters. I don't have the lyrics in front of me, but so yeah, it's just about touring in Australia. And then, so they're out there partying and stuff, and he says, "God bless the busted boat that brings us back." So another kind of double meaning, I suppose the boat that brings you back from Australia to America. But to me, it's like the boat that brings you back to normalcy, away from drinking and drug use and all that sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of a return to normalcy.
I think there's another other lines that stuck out to me, and here we sit singing words nobody taught us, drinking fire and spitting sawdust, trying to teach ourselves to breathe. We haven't yet, but every chorus brings us closer. Every flyer and every poster gives us a piece of what we need. So he hates.
Yeah, it's just.
And then he says, what else does he say? After he says, "And the piss they call tequila, even Wayla wouldn't drink, and I'd rather sip this Listerine I pack." But he says, "But I swear we've never seen a better place to sit and to think." That's he's basically all he I don't know, the music he made and just I guess I'm sure Australia is beautiful. I think that's what he's trying to say. Besides the music they made and the land, the beauty of the land and the people it connected with, all that other shit is just fucking terrible. I'll just be happy, shitty everything. It's an interesting.
It's not a complete shithole, there's, it just happens to have bad alcohol and bad coke, and but the fans are, the touring's good, the fans are good, the country itself is good.
Yeah, it's what's important here. It's remember what's important, I think, is an underlying message in that song particularly. Or try to see the good in things, maybe.
Well, in addition to Australia, I think maybe just being on the road as such,
right.
You got a lot of downtime, you could just sit and think, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it says too, like, something about the morning. He talked about the morning. Morning's rough
The
and doesn't
morning's
give a
rough.
damn about the mission. Has no aesthetic or tradition, only lessons never learned. So, like, we
That
talk about the morning.
hungover, right? The
Maybe.
mornings are rough.
Yep.
Never,
Yeah.
you never learn. You know, because you
Oh,
always say, like, I always say, like, when I'm hungover, I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna drink again, and then you
right.
drink again. You know,
Yeah. Yep.
that's right.
Yep.
The morning I quit drinking,
Well, it's not the morning, so.
so bottoms up.
Um. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't. Morning's rough. It don't give a damn about the mission. You know, like you're trying to. I think sobriety again. I mean, he's trying to get so. Morning don't give a shit about that. You know what I mean? Like.
Nope.
And then so that's where I get the that's the verse that where I get the boat line. God bless the busted boat that brings us back. Like you know, there's always something bringing you back to, you know, in his case, sobriety, I guess.
All right. Super 8.
Okay.
It was my least favorite song on the album.
Okay.
Really?
That was it was my least favorite song too. Now I don't know about now. I like all the songs now, but when I first listened to it, Super 8 Motel was I was like
It's humorous.
skip.
Yeah. It's
It's a
humorous.
fun song.
But
Yeah, it's just an amalgam of stories with the drive-by truckers that he wrote. You know, basically.
Just waking up and I don't want to die in a Super 8 hotel. That's so fucking funny.
It's similar to you also had a gripe on the Genesis record with Illegal Alien, which also that was one of my favorite moments of the podcast too, and Jake opens with that. My only gripe is with Illegal Alien, and Joe just goes, "Why?" I don't know.
I like the song.
It's just funny. You're just very like, "Why? What the hell?"
I thought it was good.
No, but I thought this song served a similar purpose in just being kind of a fun break, you know, from the rest of the record. There's some funny lines in it. I lost a couple drinks and my dinner in the sink. You know, the guy who took it in the baby fat.
Yeah.
I assume that was related to the fungo bat. I
Yeah.
a fungal bat to the belly.
Yeah. I would have liked this song after Elephant. You know, I feel like that would have been a good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, a fun song after a song like that.
Yeah,
I mean, Flying Over Water is a really good song. Don't get me wrong. If I could change some of the songs around, the placing of the songs, that's what I would do.
That's a good. Yeah, I like that. That's a good point.
And just move everything else down.
The other one I liked. It would make a great story if I ever could remember it right.
Yeah.
Relate. No. Okay. Then Yvette.
Song about abuse, man.
Yeah. Right.
Being sexually abused. She's being sexually abused by her dad. You know what that reminded me of? Hung My Head for some reason. I don't know why. It just gave me that vibe because like he paints that picture. I drew my beat on him to practice my aim. You could almost see him following the horseman down the field. On this one, towards the end, he says something like, I sighted my scope and took a deep breath and became one with death or partnered with death or something.
Coupled
like
with death, yeah.
Yeah, like similar songwriting there, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, another good, really good songwriting in this song.
He's got another. He's done a couple songs like this. So, like for example, If We Were Vampires, is not. There's no chorus in that song. It just appears once. And this was a similar Yvette. It's not. It's the last word in the song is Yvette. And that's like the title of it. I like out of that sort of thing. Like, well, this song has a chorus. I might not be a man yet. Blah 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 blah. But like, still, for the title, will only be like one word in the song.
Like, you're not a man, and you're never. I'm not gonna give you the chance to even. Like, you're gonna be dead. He starts it with that bastard. That bastard will never be, and then he explicitly makes it, your father will never be. Yeah.
Yeah, because at first I thought he was talking about like her boyfriend or something that was just not good. Yeah, good for her. And then when he says father, it's like, oh shit, like then everything kind of comes into view.
Crazy? This is a really like interesting song because I know like in high school, like you like in like my experience, like you tend to kind of poke fun at people who are like secluded or away from the crowd, you know what I mean, or like what was the line he said, like covered up so no one will notice you, like those
Yeah.
people that always kind of get like you wonder like how often does this type of thing actually go on in the world.
It was
and the reason I say that is because I looked in the Genius and there was an actual quote from Isbell saying like, I was surprised like how many people told him personally like of stories of like abuse and like how often it actually goes on. So it just makes me think of my own life, like, you know, this person who dressed weird or acted weird, like, you know, what could have been going on in their life that you didn't know about, you know what I mean? So that's just something to think about.
Yeah, there was a girl that I knew, I don't want to say who, but you know, beautiful girl, but she always wore long sleeves and like she never showed any skin, and you know, beautiful girl, but she was abused by like her grandfather.
Wow.
And yeah, this song like reminded me of her, and just feeling it's just like why doesn't anyone do anything to stop it? Like everyone knows this is going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shouldn't someone put an end to this? But
well, there's a verse like that in the song, right? I wonder about your mother. How come your mother doesn't say anything? How come she doesn't, as if she doesn't know who he is, you know, kind of thing. Like,
and in this case, I feel like the family knew, and they just didn't do anything about it. It's like, well, what the hell?
Well, it's like ignoring the elephant kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's just easier to just keep acting like everything's normal. You know what I mean? Because that's, you know, it's a difficult thing for a lot of reasons to have to confront something like that. You know?
Yeah, I think that's what like why like that happens is because that sort of thing is so difficult to like confront. I know, like, there's a lot of good. This brings to mind. This reminded me of a song by Atmosphere, actually, that I'll suggest you guys listen to. It's called "The Last to Say," and that's about domestic abuse rather than like sexual abuse. But he says like, it just reminded me of that song. Like those songs are these points are worth bringing up, and I commend him for like kind of confronting it because it's something that people don't talk about. One of those elephants,
right?
Something that needs to be talked about, and something that people need to be on the lookout for.
The Silver Song pickup song "Kissing Families" that we heard on the EP. It was the first song off the
EP. Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
That's about domestic abuse, but definitely way more cryptic, way more.
Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah,
harder. It's harder to pin down, but yeah, that's what that song's about too.
Well, so how do you? I mean, have you read that? That's what it's about, or I mean,
yeah, on Genius or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then Relatively Easy was the last song. Curious what you guys think about this one.
I like he had another dig on the church there, which I liked.
Of course, yeah.
The song is called Relatively Easy.
Correct.
Yeah, he says your brother's on another church kick. Might as well just be another dope, like another kind of dope sick.
Well, it certainly can be. Yes.
It can. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, people can take it to extremes where it could be like a drug.
Right.
With religion, there should be a good balance between religion and reality. To be honest, but there's some people that just go deep into it.
You know
and it's essentially like another kind of dope sick at that. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's just
going deep into alcohol or deep into a drug or something. Yeah.
Right.
It's similar.
And that's what's so like a recurring theme about like drug abuse and drug addiction is so often addiction as a behavior isn't confronted. Instead, you substitute one addiction for another, and that's what leads a lot of people to like relapse and stuff. So that was a really good line.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean, like at AA meetings, they have like oil tankers full of coffee wheel in for everybody there. Now, to be fair, coffee is a far superior addiction than alcohol for those people.
Yeah.
But still, I noticed it's like, oh, okay, like you just kind of replaced.
Or they put out like a plate of cookies or something, like sugar.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing people can get addicted to. You know, sugar, caffeine, alcohol.
It's the mentality that's needs to be addressed rather than
again Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's a far superior addiction, but ultimately you want to beat addiction as such.
Right.
You know what I mean? But okay, but so
there's other themes, right? And
but so,
I was confused, so I'm hoping, Colin, you can kind of fill in some of the blanks, because
with this song?
yeah,
Okay, but
besides the addiction, like
yeah.
what was his messaging besides like saying like, oh, it's much worse? Is that maybe that's what he's saying? It's much worse other places. Is that what is he trying to say? The same thing you did, where he's saying the coffee versus the coffee versus meth? Like, is that what he's trying to say by it's far worse in other places, but you're not confronting the actual, or do you think it's something else?
Well, what did you think, Joe?
This is another one I didn't have too many notes about. I mean, it to me the song just starts off as like just someone's having a bad day, and that everything just kind of is annoying them. And they're very they have a very like pessimistic view on life around them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not very optimistic. So that's why they're saying all like kind of these mean kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I think it's so I think it gets progressively worse. Like it's kind of like it starts off with just maybe like you're just having a bad day, whatever, like my superficial, like my flight was late.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my fucking laptop's broken. Well, hey, like compared to people on a global scale, like you've got it easy.
Oh yeah.
But then but the song progressively gets worse and worse, and then he's describing like real, like the guy, like he I lost a good friend Christmas time when folks go off the deep end. His wife took the kids and he took Klonopin, enough to kill a man of twice his size. Like, so now all of a sudden he's discussing real pain, but then he keeps returning to like on a global scale our lives have been really I don't know, he's like
it's almost like
it's easy to say that, but no, you're really
help.
experiencing, right? Exactly.
Like you're not helping by telling someone that.
Right. Like just because you have a big house and you've got like it doesn't mean you can't still be in pain. You know what I mean? So that it's kind of like I think it's a really good song. It's easy to interpret it at face value as literally he's saying like your life is easy because it's true at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like our lives are easy compared to a lot of people around the world.
Oh yeah.
But,
I mean, that's what I always think.
Still.
I mean, I always think, first of all, we were number one, being blessed just to even be born. It's number one. Winning that, rat race to be born, number one. Two, we were born in America.
Mm-hmm.
We could be born in some shithole country or some war-torn country or, poverty or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So all these little things that people complain about, I never understood. Like you have it good. I mean, yeah, life gets hard.
Mm-hmm.
No one said life was going to be easy, but
yeah, but then when your friend kills himself, if somebody tells you like, oh well, at least you're in America, it's
people
like
are dying every day in Iraq. It could be a lot worse.
It's like
it
that doesn't help.
Die every day in Iraq. Like
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, pain is that's
relatively easy.
Well, like when I just think of this low key line. It's just pain is the same, fam. It's all relative. We cry the same tears you cry for your relatives. Like it doesn't. And then he says, "Home is where the heart is," and that's
what is this? What are you talking about?
This is a song by a rapper called Low Key.
Oh, okay.
And it compares the lives of people who died in like 9/11 to like the people who are dying. Definitely different subject matter. But I just thought it was like that line was relevant because you said like it doesn't matter like the size of your home. Like home is where the heart is. That's why what I mean. Where your heart is when something happens there, whether it's in a little hut or in a big mansion. Like shit's still painful. You know what I mean? That's why it doesn't help when you say, "Well, he was living in a hut." You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
That's because home's where the heart is. That's where you're most vulnerable. Where you can get broken the most. This song's like about depression and stuff.
Yeah, and again, that's why it was a really well written song because it got again. It starts with just a bad day, but then it gets worse and worse and worse. He ends up going to jail and all those. You know what I mean? All this bullshit. So, well-written song. So just this is one, again, like I said, this album kind of grew on me. I wasn't a fan of every song from the outset. So I think like on listens again, there's a lot of subtle, besides the writing and stuff, there's a lot of subtle, like really nice musicianship on this record. Cool little steel guitar solos.
I was going to say that from the very first, like the first and second song, I was like, this is a nice, I was going to say, what I have written. I wrote simple, but in my mind, I didn't write this down, but I was thinking like, it's simple but well done. Like, it seems corny, but I was like, the notes like ring really true. Like the musicianship is there. I think that really helps.
As you listen to the songs again, like I've heard these songs a million times. So like, I don't know, I can like, I've described it before as like a blurry picture that becomes more and more into focus. Like you can kind of hear every individual piece the more you listen to it.
Right.
And so that's how these songs are for me. Like all of a sudden I can notice all this shit I didn't notice the first time. One thing I didn't mention, you guys don't remember, but if you listen to Cover Me Up, the first song, right at the end, it starts to build up and there's these big drums. It's like the kind of drums that you don't have a regular drumstick, but like the big furry
like a bass drum, like boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom. Like those end up coming in. So that was one. But then other than that, just a lot of like just subtle, again, this was a laid back record, so you didn't have, besides Flying Over Water, you didn't have like a crazy guitar solo or anything like that, but just subtle, nice musicianship. So hats off to, well, mostly the 400 unit, but also whoever was playing bass on this record. Did you have any Jake, you've got a keen ear for bass?
It was
I don't know, I suppose that's less prominent on a country or this type of record.
I don't know if that's like, it was some standard bass. I mean, it was really solid. I didn't notice, nothing really jumped out at me. There was a couple like where I was just like, okay, the groove's going, because I'm always noticing it, but I mean, there wasn't anything spectacular, but it was really well done. It doesn't have to be spectacular to be to be good.
Yeah, particularly with the bass, right? I mean, there are songs like if you're like the Red Hot Chili Peppers or like a more of a funk band, the bass is going to stand out more. But in most music, it's just the background. That's why I don't hear it that often. It's just like it kind of is the song almost. Like it's so
drums and bass, man.
Yeah.
You have to have good time. If you don't notice it, that's a good thing. In a lot of cases.
Let's see. Brian Allen on the bass. And then a cool thing about Dave Cobb is he's on percussion, produced the record, and also steps in and does percussion.
Pulling double duty.
So yeah, that was it. That was that was kind of the record that got Jason Isbell started, and then he went from there, and he's got a new record coming out this week, I think.
Oh, sick.
I think it'll be out this week. Reunions. So there's only one. So now we've heard this one now and the Nashville sound. So he had one in between, Something More Than Free. That's one album I still don't have of his. So, you guys have probably heard some songs off of that record, but yeah, it's your singer-songwriter type of thing. So
for our listeners, if you're just finishing up here, just remember the two songs I mentioned was Low Key, and the title was Relatives featuring Logic, and the other one was Last to Say by Atmosphere. And the only reason I mention that is can you guys think of any other music that would be introductory to other artists that would go along with, I think that'd be a cool thing to add. Like any other songs that remind you of this album that would be good to introduce the listener to a new band or a new sound.
Oh, well, that's just in general. That's one of my favorite things of doing Record Night podcasts. I always think of other songs like, oh, this reminds me of this song, or that happens to me all the time. So
yeah, the beginning of this album reminded me of like Neil Young. I was getting some like Neil Young kind of vibes from it. I mean, it's a similar genre of music.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what my dad will irritate me when he's like, "Oh, I don't like country music." I understand a lot of people say that, like they don't like country music, and that has to do with the fact that during the late '90s, early 2000s, country music became
Achy
pop
breaky heart.
crap. Yeah. I mean, and that's even earlier. Yeah. I mean, it just became its own version of pop music where it was all about the same shit. It was all the same, exactly the same formatted song, just whatever fucking sells. But Neil Young, pretty goddamn close to fucking country, man. Like a lot of steel guitars and his shit. I mean,
folk country, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's the same. Like Jason Isbell, like you can call this country music because he's from Alabama, and he uses the fiddle and steel guitar. He's got a lot of characteristics of it, sure. So it's a fair characterization, but like it's folk music. You know what I mean? Like it's just
It's such an unfair like criticism of any kind of music. That's always what it is. Like, what does it sound like, Sonic or like? Yeah, it's just such an unfair. I used to be that way about hip hop. Like, oh, it's all the fucking same. They're just singing about like this and that, and all this hoopla, and then just you dive into it, and you realize like how fucking deep the rabbit hole goes.
I'm just thinking of that on SpongeBob.
Hoopla!
Yeah. Hold on. So say it one more time. The songs low key. What now? What now? Just this record in general reminded you of those songs, or were there songs on the record that?
In general, like the subject matter and the
but Yvette was the one that was the
Yvette,
the atmosphere.
Yes, Yvette like that specific song reminded me of "Last to Say" by Atmosphere.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I actually I mentioned it, I think, but like "Flying Over Water" reminded me of "Wait for the Sky," a little bit which has nothing to do with the fact that there's sky is in both songs, right? Like they're in a plane. That had nothing to do with it, but just "Wait for the Sky" is a relationship that has exhausted all the words had all been spoken, but somehow the feeling still wasn't right.
Yeah.
Is the lyric in that song, and this is the same thing. It's like, well, I don't understand. Like everything looks so easy. It should be easy. It looks so easy. Why is it hard?
Right.
And so and then the other thing it reminded me of was the Wild Feathers, "The Ceiling," just because there's literally the lyric "We should be easy."
Yeah.
Is the lyric in that song. You know what I mean? But it doesn't work out that way. So.
Yeah, "Fly Over Water" kind of remind me of just because it's coming from the same point of view, but "Fly Over States" by Jason Aldean. It's coming from being in a plane, looking out the window, seeing all the roads and all these little towns and stuff.
So
it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same subject matter, but it's the same. They're coming from the same point of view, up in an airplane, looking down.
There's a Dawes song called "From a Window Seat."
Oh,
that is also about being on an airplane. So that's
I love the window seat. I always get the window seat when I'm on a plane. Always. I love looking up. I just think it's amazing that we're in this little tube, not little, but we're in this tube flying through the fucking sky in like crazy amount of speed.
Yeah.
Well, you would know. You've flown in an airplane. I didn't know Jake never had.
All it takes is one bird. One.
No.
Engine starts smoking and shit.
Wait a minute. That's got to be a low percentage.
Super low.
Little seagull gets sucked into the turbine.
Yeah, that thing's done. That plane's going to keep right on fucking sailing, dude. No problem at all.
A couple other engines that it could use.
Unless a goddamn pterodactyl flies into that thing, I think it's fine.
I don't know why I just saw like a Family Guy scene that'd make a good Family Guy scene. It's like fucking like cavemen. Like, I'm telling you, this is gonna work. It's gonna be fine. What if a bird flies in there? It's like a pterodactyl, like destroys the plane. Never mind. Oh, my brain does things sometimes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna.
Anyways. Quality episode of Record Night Podcast.
I was born in Bermondsey, one of the south parts.
And I was born in Basra, south side of Iraq.
We used to play football outside in the park.
We used to dodge bullets outside in the dark.
I never prayed, I was...
Jake makes me so fucking mad! I can't stand it!